You can't become who you are meant to be when you're clinging on to the old you. This is one of the most challenging parts of divorce, is that the old you, the old life, the old dreams, the old vision has to die. And it's one of the most terrifying parts. It feels like you're losing yourself. It feels like you don't know who you are anymore. It's literally the loss of identity because it's an identity death. An identity. What is identity? Identity is who you think you are, how life works, and all of that. And your identity has been constructed based on the life you've lived. And your marriage and your family is a massive part of that. So when all of a sudden that you no longer have a husband or wife, it causes a collapse of the identity. And it's one of the most challenging, painful parts of this process. And what I want to share with you is, as a professional mindset coach, I'm a professional mindset coach, life coach, business coach. I worked for Tony Robbins for about 3.5 years, where I learned how to coach 10 years ago, probably 500 hours, 700 hours of mindset coaching and training I've been through. I've coached thousands of clients. I've done 10,000 coaching sessions over the years. I've coached thousands of clients. I've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of live workshops. And I live and breathe personal growth on a regular basis. So I've got a very unique mindset. I've done a lot of growth. I rebound very quickly, and I could bounce back very quickly. But the identity death that I went through with the divorce, it was the hardest thing. I lost myself. I couldn't work for a while. Like, I literally lost my voice at work. I couldn't flow content anymore. The vision of the future was probably the most painful part, because I was always this hopeless romantic who just dreamed if I just loved enough, if I loved her enough, things would go away, things would get fixed. What I didn't realize at the time is that she wasn't really in. She was actually doing other things that she shouldn't be doing. And that basically, I was in denial at the time. And I probably never would have left. So I'm actually thankful she did, because a year and a half later, I'm happy the divorce happened, because my life has turned into something amazing. Getting here, really hard, really hard. We're talking, let's see, she filed for divorce about 16 months ago. I moved out about a year ago. And that was the most challenging day of my life, walking my boys to school for the last day, knowing that when I came home, they came home from school, I would have moved out and half the house would be empty. I couldn't even be there for them for that. And then I moved into this apartment by myself, because at the time my business revenue had been kind of changing, so my income was down. So I couldn't afford 2 5-bedroom houses in Austin, because I've got 4 boys. So I've been in an apartment. I couldn't even go 50-50 right now because I don't have the space for them. So I'm sitting here by myself in my apartment, crying like every night, multiple times a day, trying to get by. And I was crying because I literally couldn't hold it back. And it was the loss of identity. It was the loss of who I was. And it was one of the phases, right? There's 4 phases, right? There's the fire where everything collapses, when everything falls away, when it stops working. It's just challenging, that identity death. The second part is the fire, is that after everything falls away, you're left in the fire, and that's the fire of truth. And the fire of truth will burn away everything that's false. And that's where you start to realize what's going on, and you start to let go of the rose-colored glasses you were living under of denial, and you start to see what's actually happening. And that's when that old identity starts to dissolve. It started to dissolve during the collapse, but then in the fire is where it burns away. And then you get to phase 3. And in phase 3 is the rebirth, where the new identity starts to rise. And that's where life starts to get fun. It starts to get amazing. You start to become the version of you dreamt of. And then the 4th phase is the embodiment. The most difficult part, though, is in the collapse of the identity. In phase 1, you then go through the fire before your rebirth. And the fire is the challenging part, because when that old identity dies, you're in a blank space. You're in a space of nothing. It's like nothingness. It's like silence and stillness. It's completely unknown, and it's terrifying. And the only way out is through. Because you can try to cling on to the old you, but are you going to cling on to the old stuff now that you see the truth? You can't go back and make yourself small again for that relationship. The relationship's over. You can keep acting small, but the problem is the truth has started to rise of what was really going on, and you weren't really happy. The relationship wasn't working. And let's be honest, you wanted better than that, and you were probably settling. You were just too scared, or you didn't know how. And there's no judgment for being fear or to try to hold your family together in the best way you could. But the fact of the matter is you're here now. You're either in the divorce process, you're divorced, or you're recovering from it afterwards, either one. And you can, in our last video, we talked about changing the meaning of divorce, right? So divorce is not something you get through. Divorce isn't something you thrive. Divorce isn't something you survive. Divorce is something you thrive from. Like literally thrive. Like it really becomes, boom, the next thing, the gateway to that next level. But to get through that next level, you got to go through the dark. And what I discovered is rock bottom. And when I hit rock bottom, I realized that rock bottom had a basement below that. And when I hit rock bottom again, I started dating this girl and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I've never been this happy. And then that didn't work out. And I went to rock bottom even further. So I've actually hit rock bottom like 4 times. I thought the pit was never empty. The interesting thing though about hitting rock bottom like that is that multiple times is that each time I hit rock bottom, I found a piece of myself. Each time I hit a new level of rock bottom, one of the old bullshit stories I was living disappeared. One of the masks I was wearing goes away, went burned off. And I'm at the point right now, it's like, I used to be a massive struggling with people pleasing. I'm not people pleasing anymore. Like me or not, I don't care. This is who I am. And the more I embody my authentic self, the more opportunities I get, the more happiness that comes, the more successful I am, the more magnetic I become. But you got to walk through the dark. That identity death is terrifying, but keep walking forward. Life would not be giving you this obstacle right now if you were not meant to do something great. And if you look around you and your path is more difficult than everyone else around you, it's because you are destined to be greater than everyone else around you. That's why. You're meant for more than this. This is the path. And if you have children, I'm going to poke you with a stick right now. Because children are the most powerful leverage that I use when I'm coaching parents. So you've got this option, right? Are you going to just crawl into a bottle and feel sorry for yourself for the next 10 years? What's that going to do for your kids? Are you going to show your kids that you're the type of father or you're the type of mother that can radically transform not just themselves, but their entire identity and their life, even if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old? It doesn't matter. I'm 51 years old. And the man that I'm becoming right now, the work that I'm doing is transforming my children because I have 4 sons. They are watching me very closely, just like your children are watching you. So when it's difficult and it's challenging and you're alone and you're sad, which I've been a lot, remember, there's people counting on you. Life, God, universe, creator, whatever you call it, will not give you a challenge that you can't handle. And if it's the most difficult challenge you've ever had, then just get excited because the version of you that's going to come out the other side is going to blow everybody away out of how amazing and awesome you are. All you have to do is put one foot in front of the other and keep going. Do your best. If you want to go faster, join one of my workshops. You want to go even faster, book an intro call. One-on-one coaching can help. You can also read my book, Do the Impossible. My second book, Becoming the Impossible, is coming out soon. You are meant for more than this. You can do this. I've done it. You can do it too. I'm Jason Drees. Thank you for listening. You're not alone. Maybe you should join my community as well. You'll get some support in there. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.